Okay, guys, long time. Um, I just had an experience that I want to share with you all, and I'm hoping that the wives that are watching this will take what I'm saying very seriously. So I went to a seminar, I went for a program and a training sort of, and I met an old friend, a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in weeks. So I was looking forward to when we're going to finish, the training so that we could catch up and gist. And you know immediately I saw him, as in when I looked at him, I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what it was, but I knew something was off. So I asked him, what's going on now? He said, he's fine and all, the usual guy thing. I said, no, you're not fine. Then he, after I persuaded him for a while, he now said, oh, well, it's usual business thing, my mind is all over the place. I said, yes, you regularly have business issues, right? Or something that you're trying to sort out with your business, but this is different. Something is different. I don't know what it is, but if you insist that you're fine, then that's okay. Then he breaks down and then begins to tell me that actually it's not the regular thing. He encountered some task force members that's supposed to be a regulating body for his business, etc., etc. And then when he was done talking to me, I tried to encourage him, and tell him, suggest a few things he could do differently. Then he says to me, I have been like this for the past 1 week and my wife is not even aware. And I'm like, what do you mean she's not aware? How do you know she's not aware? He said the wife hasn't asked him anything, that he's been actually depressed for the past 1 week because it was an issue that would make him spend a lot of money, which he didn't have. Business has been slow. I was trying to make excuses for the wife, and he wouldn't have it. Before you knew it, he had broken down. He started crying. That since he married, that he just feels like it's an ATM as far as his marriage is concerned. If a mosquito, as much as a mosquito bites his children, the wife notices, she sees it, and she brings it to his attention. But he can be depressed or frustrated for weeks, even sometimes months, and the wife will not even notice, or even as much as ask, guy, what is doing you? He just began to cry, like, how can he be so lonely, lying next to somebody, but yet feel so alone? I felt very bad for him. I felt really sad for him. And as a therapist, I've heard this in counseling a lot. I've heard, men talk about it. It feels like they don't count. Their feelings are not valid. If it's a woman, everybody's running around her and things like that. They are not complaining. They are not complaining about, not having people running around them. But I mean, the woman in their life. How is it that you're lying next to your husband and you've been with him for 1 week and you didn't know that something was wrong with him? So I encouraged him. It's not a strange thing that men cry on my shoulders, right? When you're a therapist, you will understand. But back to my point, as I left him, I began to think, what if I wasn't a married woman? What if I was a single lady? Maybe a colleague in his office that was sensitive enough to understand that he was going through something. Could an affair begin that way? Are there some affairs that have started like this? Because when we talk a lot about side chicks and infidelity, I'm not holding brief for anybody, okay? But let's look at things critically, because sometimes when things are not going well in our marriages, it's not so much of the only culprit is not the offender, seeming offender. If you are able to be true to yourself, you could find that you're also contributing to this issue, but you may be too hurt by the betrayal of infidelity to even want to process what your own contribution could be. Imagine, I sat with him for 3 hours and we spoke, and when I left him, I just kept wondering, what if I wasn't married? Even for a married woman, is there to say that somebody can't be tempted? I mean, I can't be tempted right now because I'm too in love with my husband, but let's be real. what will happen, right? Tomorrow he calls you up and then you guys chat, and then tomorrow, before you know it, he builds an emotional connection. Those kinds of affairs are not affairs that you wish away. It's not the born woman thing, right? It becomes stronger. It's not about sex anymore. It's something deeper, something he longed to have with his spouse that he didn't have. And he said she's always been like this. It just grew worse when kids started coming. He felt, oh, maybe because their relationship was a distant thing before they got married, or maybe now that they are married, things will change. But if anything, things have gotten worse. So if you're a wife and you're listening to this, I want you to know that your husband needs you. He needs you now more than ever. He needs you to pray for him. He needs you to support him. He needs you to encourage him. He needs you to care about him. The way you care about your children, the way you pamper your children, the way you notice when something is off with your babies. Your grown baby also wants to feel like they matter. They want to feel like nobody else is taking their place, right? These are issues that men are facing in our times. There's no cast in concrete rule, but if you can care enough to be sensitive to your husband's emotions, you'll be saving him and saving your marriage a lot of evil. Because trust me, there are women out there who have all the time to give to your husband. I know it's not easy. You have to work, you have to care for the children, etc. In all your planning, in all your itinerary, factor in your spouse. Don't give him the leftover of your energy. You spend give your best at work, give your best to the children, and the most important person in your life after God, you give him the leftovers of your energy. If you were the one, how would you feel? So please, take this into account and try to do something different to improve your marriage. Okay? And for the people that are going to come after me, why is it always women that they're talking to? Keep your peace. Keep it. When there's something to say about men, I will say it. But today I'm addressing wives, not just women, wives in particular. Okay? Have a nice day.